Over the past few days, I've been talking about how Brandon Sanderson has really pushed a crazy agenda with woke politics in his new Wind and Truth. And it's something that is across the mainstream publishing industry. It's not just Brandon Sanderson. It is everywhere. It is all of mainstream publishing. Authors are pressured into this. You cannot even get contracts at this point without putting in LGBTQ nonsense into your fantasy stories. You cannot even get contracts. Honestly, it gets even worse. If you're a white, straight male as a writer, unless you've got like a tremendous following already, you're not going anywhere. It's really a broken system, and it's all about politics. And the thing is, these companies are propped up. It's not real. There's no real readers for any of this crap. And I'll tell you exactly why in a moment. I wrote this article on Fandom Pulse yesterday just about this mainstream publishing expose that was done by an ex-influencer. And we'll get into it in just a bit. Make sure to sign up for my Fandom Pulse. Never miss any of my written news here, guys. It's in the description below. I'm also an author myself, so I'd love you to join my newsletter so you don't miss out on new releases. I'm very prolific, and we're doing amazing right now. You get 3 free books just for signing up. That's in the description below. Really appreciate everybody who checks out the fiction. There's no weird LGBTQ stuff in any of this stuff. It's good for all ages, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to push back against this degeneracy in publishing. So hit that like and subscribe button as we take a ride into mainstream publishing and the mainstream media right here. As you can see, this ties into the Dude address in the Biden administration. The book publishing industry has increasingly pushed the LGBTQ plus agenda, especially on children in recent years. Influencer Redhead Ranting on X exposed how bad it is with a recent children's book titled She Persisted on Rachel Levine, who's a man pretending to be a woman in the Biden administration. Mainstream media publishing tries to push anything but mainstream topics on the populace, forcing a DEI agenda that's mostly propped up by government-funded libraries buying books en masse to inflate sales numbers. I'll get into that. What I mean by this is that libraries actually purchase big amounts of these books. The American Library Association goes through, and mainstream publishers sell a large portion of their books to these libraries. These are all funded by government tax dollars, and so your tax dollars are actually pushing the mainstream publishing, and so it's a big circle where they can publish what they want. They publish the DEI agenda. These librarians actually look for DEI agenda. And so it's propped up artificially where the market doesn't actually bear this for actual book readers. Nobody actually wants the kind of books I'm going to show you right now. And you'll see why, because it's absolutely crazy. Now, in some states, parents have pressured lawmakers to enact laws to stop this evil material from getting into schools, where children have been getting groomed into LGBTQ lifestyles without parental consent. This is absolutely real. There are books out there that are almost like pure pornography that are getting into school libraries right now because of these librarians trying to push these agendas and trying to corrupt children. It is exactly what's happening right now. Now, there's millions and millions of dollars on lawsuits being spent on this stuff, fighting against this, trying to actually, make sure this stuff gets in front of your children. It's really, really sick. And then there's activist judges who are, of course, taking the side of the publishers in this whole deal. You can see it's a government publishing complex, and that's why independent media exists right here. So Redhead Ranting said, this is Lisa Bunker, a man who wrote She Persisted edition on Rachel Levine, published by Philonel, who's a division of Penguin Random House. Penguin Random House is like the biggest publisher. They're called the Big Four. There's 4 big publishers that kind of control everything. Penguin Random House is one of those. They do a lot of political work. A lot of money's funneled into this stuff. You've seen like Kamala Harris getting big book deals and things like that where she makes millions, where it's like, obviously there's not enough people buying those books to justify that. There's money laundering involved in this sort of stuff. There's tax dollars, of course. There's libraries picking up these books. It's really, really a sick system. It is. And so She Persisted, based on the best-selling picture book series by Chelsea Clinton, is all about the dude in a dress in the military. And you can see right here, you've got diverse little girls. You got like a weird Asian girl, like mixed race. You can't tell. You got the black girl, of course, looking up, and the white girl looking up. These little children being like, "Oh, this is the woman I could be," except for you can't because it's a man. Very, very sad stuff that's being foisted upon little girls. So confusing to little children. Like, this is sick to put out there and actually put into little children's bookshelves and actually try to like confuse them on this level. But this is exactly the agenda, because you get into it. Look at this. This is what it says. Lisa is not just a they, them, but he is also a vo, ven. That's right. I challenge you to read his bio with a straight face and then say a prayer for his wife. Let's try to do this, okay, guys? I'm going to try not to laugh, okay? I'm a very serious anchorman here, right? Lisa Bunker, they, them, or Voven. This is the first time I've heard of Voven. Do I even want to look this up? I'm too scared. I'm not going to Google that. Has written stories all of Veer life? Oh, geez. Oh, no. Before setting up shop as a full-time author, Vo had a 30-year career in non-commercial broadcasting, most recently as a program director for the community radio station in Portland, Maine. Vo has also made homes in New Mexico and the LA area, Seattle, Florida, Panhandle, New Hampshire. Vo now lives in Sacramento, California, with Veer spouse, Dawn, an expert on anxiety in children. I wonder why they're experts on anxiety in children. This needs to be investigated. Jeez. And an author in her own right. Between them, they have 3 grown children. Oh, the poor children. From 2018 to 2024, Lisa represented the town of Exeter in New Hampshire, House of Representatives. Oh, yeah, sounds like, look at this. House of Representatives, right? It's a government media complex, guys. Veer and other activities include chess, birding, choral singing, and musical composition. Well, how nice. Get mental help. Jeez. Why are these guys always so dramatic? No one is going to fight you, certainly not physically, since you're a man and have all that upper body strength we women are missing. That extra muscle, large lung capacity, bigger heart. You know those things competing against us unfair. We don't care if you exist. We're more than happy to ignore you. We just don't want you in our same-sex spaces because we are not the same sex and we don't participate in your fetish. And this is a video Vovem made on TikTok just complaining about, transgender or whatever, and you can see hashtag resistance here. This is so crazy. They're the establishment. You're in the House of Representatives. You're tied in with government. You got a publishing contract from the biggest publisher in the world, and you claim to be resistance. It's so, the gaslighting's so ridiculous that they promote this stuff. So this is what Redhead Ranting says. We'll fight against you legally to keep your ideology away from the kids, to stay out of our same-sex spaces, sports, and prisons. But we're also not going to jump when you enter our changing room because we're more afraid of you than you are of us. The publisher of Bunker's book, Penguin Random House, also published these lovely titles: "Want to Be My Dress-Up Lover?" and "Natsume Wants to Be Trained." All of these at fine retailers, marketed as boys love manga. Yeah, this is a whole genre of just homosexuality that's aimed at kids. Again, very, very sad this is out here. So Redhead Ranting says, we've got to create our own publishing house that doesn't cater to the woke virus. I implore people like Elon Musk and J.K. Rowling to consider this endeavor. I'll work in whatever role is necessary to make this happen, including providing manuscripts to publish. Rejected by all the mainstream publishing houses after being a far-right author. I know there are so many others who would get behind this venture. This is also true in some ways, guys. It'd be nice. But again, unless the library system and the government's going to prop this up with tax dollars, there's really no point to having a publishing house. You can do everything independently yourself. And if you're an author, this is what I urge you to do. Do what I did. I'm blacklisted by the mainstream publishing. They've tried to destroy my career. They've libeled me. The Science Fiction Writers of America have actually gone out of their way and tried to destroy my career. They've actually done so in whisper networks. This is like a authors union of supposed professionals. They've gone and done it on closed message boards. I've got the screenshots of it and everything, where they tried to get me attacked. They got the World Science Fiction Convention, the largest science fiction convention out there, to ban me, to libel me on their website, a racist bully. I actually fought them in court over it. Didn't get a ton of mainstream attention, but I did, and actually won. Cost them over $130,000 to do so. They were very, very bad, and, I just did it all myself. Now, it did suppress my career for a couple of years while I couldn't, get published, and, people were trying to malign me, and, of course, it was very, very difficult for a long, long time. But I learned how to market myself, and I learned valuable business skills here, where I just, learned how to do things a little bit better. And because of that, I'm selling better than ever. I'm selling better than 99% of my peers out there in science fiction, fantasy, and comic books. And life's pretty good because I did it independently. I did it myself, and I'm beholden to no one, which is important because nobody, outside of my editor, can edit me. Or at least, and my editor knows that there's certain topics that I'm going to hit upon, and there's certain language that I'm going to use that's not going to be changed because of the political climate. And that's really, really nice to be able to do independently. And that's what I urge people to do. Do it yourself independently. Have fun with it. Don't worry about any sort of government thing. The only thing that a publisher does, like I said, is they're in with these government institutions. They're in with the American Library Association. They have a false number of sales that are propped up by these institutions, and that's a very, very important thing to keep them going. But you don't need that because you can get real readers who actually read your books this way, and that's far more important. I love getting emails from people every single day telling me they read my books, they enjoyed it, they love how wholesome it is. That's what's important out of all this stuff. So while it's an interesting call to ask for a publishing house, I don't think it's necessary in today's environment. It's way easy to do yourself. All right, this is where the mainstream publishing industry is at. This is why Brandon Sanderson is pushing so hard. This is why every mainstream author, every Netflix show pushes the exact same agenda. It's not about diversity. It's about pushing their evil culture and their monoculture. They don't want diversity whatsoever. They're liars. They're charlatans. And actually, most of their sales are propped up and fake anyway, guys. That's the lesson for today. So definitely do it yourself. This is my newsletter. Please sign up, guys. And of course, get some free 3 books. I really appreciate you. Say that 5 times fast. And then also go to my Phantom Pulse where I'm writing my, of course, journalism every single day. We've got more topics on here than I can even cover on the YouTube channel on a daily basis and still get to writing. It's good stuff. And hit the like and subscribe button here. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about this? What do you think about mainstream publishing? Was this useful to you? We'll be back soon.